Hello Internet. Welcome to Fishes Theory. In this episode we are going back to solving the lore of Tower Heroes Halloween 2024, but in a different topic, which is the Toxic Hazmask key. This key unlocks the two most mysterious contracts of the event. Okay, I'll cover you later. Before we begin, I want to thank Something Tower Heroes, Moki, and Odyssey Gaming, for their videos shown on the screen, because these helped me make this video. Give them a watch after this. This video will be a bit lengthy, since we are talking about a lot of different stuff, so I'll tell you the flow of this video. In order, we will be talking about Toxic Hazmask, Farland's Folly, Five Nights at Chuck's Diner, some of your theories from last video, and my updated theory of Halloween 2024. Without further ado, let us begin. So you know that Toxic Hazmask is the guardian of the key that unlocks the Warden and Chuck? What if this key unlocks two different dimensions? Let me explain. Chuck is apparently from another world according to this dialogue by Phone Guy. Warden has this door, which I will explain in his segment. Virtual Girl says that these contracts are not from this world. And lastly, is this contract taking place in Pumpkin Paranoia, whose main boss is Jack the Terror, who is originally from another pixel-bit game. So what could be the thing that allows people to travel to different worlds, that is significant to the lore in Tower Heroes Starlight? Of course it has Starlight. I talked about it in my previous theory video, but I realized it has a bigger role than I thought. But let us save this revised story for later, as we gotta talk about. First, let us talk about the map. It looks real strange. It has all in a monochrome aesthetic, and the floating islands make it look like Chaos Kingdom. Speaking of Chaos Kingdom, the door you use to enter Farland's Folly looks a lot like the door you use to enter Chaos Kingdom in Chaos End. They may not look exactly the same, but the fact that there are a lot of Chaos End connections in this event, these doors could be related. My theory is that the Warden did the same thing as Jester when he created Farland's Folly. That is why it is mentioned that it is his domain. He created it himself. For the enemies, some of them here come from Destiny's Dawn and Bleak Barrens, which are the artifacts and runes. These two enemy types have strangely similar descriptions, with both of them describing that they existed for a long time. This may suggest that Farland's Folly has existed for a long time, or that these enemies got teleported here for some reason. Also, Shadow from Doors is just here for some reason. I don't know if this is related to the Doors lore, but maybe somebody else could figure it out. Now on to the Warden himself. Contradicting Boki's thoughts, Toxic Hazmask and the Warden are probably related. They both share the same design, with a skeleton figure wearing black clothing. It has just that Toxic Hazmask is why the Warden probably gave Toxic Hazmask the key so he can transport people to other dimensions. Speaking of the key, let us talk about the other contract the key unlocks. Before we dive into Phone Guy's dialogue, let us take a look at the room in abandoned alleyway that is part of the contract. In this bulletin board are photos of maps you find to get the VHS sticker. But these aren't your normal maps. They are maps that contribute to the lore, like Facility Frenzy, Destiny's Dawn, Silent Sanctuary, Blast Edge Barrage, and Canyon Calamity. Canyon Calamity doesn't seem to have any connection to the lore just yet, but maybe it has from the conductor contract. And it, being with these other maps seems suspicious. For the VHS sticker itself, it looks a lot like the VHS used to unlock Holiday Rumble. Probably because they read both VHS copies, but the fact that Holiday S came from Instance, and that they both open into different worlds, the VHS might actually serve a role. With that out of the way, let us analyze Phone Guy's dialogue. This is going to be really interesting. So we know the key opens to different worlds, which is how we unlock Warden and Chuck, but why is Chuck not originally from here? Well, according to dialogue from Phone Guy, when you do a 5-0 run, the technicians stated that the animatronics were from another world. Which means someone might have sent them here for who knows what. But we still got a lot more dialogue to analyze, so let us find out. For the first night, Phone Guy says that the animatronics have been acting strange recently. Probably because whoever hijacked the animatronics didn't want us to get the contract. For the second night, there isn't anything notable, but they are checking the tapes to see who hijacked the animatronics, which we will find out in the next night. So for the third night they weren't able to find anything in the tapes. It is suspected that they were hijacked internally, which is strange.
You weren't even helping the person.
For the fourth night, the animatronics were wiped, but they are still functioning, suggesting that whoever decided to hijack the animatronics wanted to clear the evidence, and that they have complete control over the animatronics. For the fifth night, there isn't anything notable, but the animatronics are getting more hostile. Again, they probably don't want us to get the contract. When doing a 5/20 run, Phone Guy suspects that you are the cause of what is happening to the animatronics. And that might be true, since they probably got hijacked because of you going for the contract. And doing any other custom night, doesn't he have any notable information? Well, except him saying that he is not gonna pay you anymore. So what could we solve from this dialogue? Well, it isn't really clear who hijacked the animatronics, but they probably have the same motives as Virtual Girl. They know about Alistair's action to capture the contracts, and they be trying their best to stop it. About Virtual Girl, she has a ton to unpack. But let us save that for later, as we gotta talk about your theories. To start off, this commenter said that max level Byte S screens have instances and Jester S face on it. Which he does. This could mean something really significant. I don't think Virtual Girl is instance though. They have different motivations. Virtual Girl wants to stop Alistair, but Instance just wants to have all Starlight. But there is a possibility that Instance is involved in this lore. Speaking of Virtual Girl, there is another theory from a commenter stating that Virtual Girl knows they are in a game and that they are working with someone, which could be Instance, since Instance also knows that we are in a game. Yes. This theory states that a normal spirit may have used Starlight to turn into the Spirit King. And that might be true, but it is probably not a spirit, but a lore. You see, according to this theory, Spirit King is part of the lore species. As you can see, they are very similar. Which is probably why he attacked Alistair. Because he trapped them and probably uses them for something. And lastly, yeah, it is confirmed Maytake is dead. A daily deck confirms that. Also, one strange thing is that Volt is also there. I am guessing it, yes, because Volt an inanimate object, but Hot Gun Frank exists. Strange. Also, I just noticed that Lore is there, even though they will obviously go. With that done, let us move on to my revised theory. Shall we? Before we start, I want to note some key corrections from my previous video, because it was a bit confusing. First and most importantly, my theories aren't guaranteed to be correct. I am just sharing my thoughts for the fun of it. Even MacPat has been wrong a lot of times, so take all of this with a grain of salt. Secondly, Fisha's theory does not only cover Tower Heroes, but other games too. So, if you got theories about other games, specifically the ones listed in the intro, feel free to comment them. Thirdly, yeah, I was probably wrong that the pit in the center of Mangled Manor is Starlight. But I still think Starlight has a huge significance in the lore in not only this event, but the whole game in general. Like instances battle mode dialogue, Jester in Chaos End and Jester in Tower Heroes being the same person, I could go on. And even without the Starlight pit, Mangled Manor still has connections to Chaos End. like the motif and the landscape. But hey, believe what you want. I am not forcing you to. Anyways, let us get on with the thing. Alistair's job is to keep people from other dimensions away from the world of Tower Heroes, which is how he knows about the existence of Starlight. He also captures lures and uses them for something unknown. Whoever sent the contracts found out what Alistair was doing and gave the Spirit King Starlight so he can destroy Alistair's mansion to free the contracts and trap Alistair. They probably also are working with Virtual Girl to try to convince others to be against Alistair or the heroes in general. We do save Alistair in the end, but it has only gonna get worse. This is probably very incomplete, but I would have to assume a lot of stuff. I probably got the gist of it at least.
But hey, that's just a theory. Okay.